Cenk Uygur, that's right, founder and host of TYT, the Progressive Young Turks network show, YouTube online show. He is running for president in the Democratic Party, despite all the obstacles, of course, including the fact that he wasn't born in this country. But why is he running? This is what he said in The Hill. He said, Biden is not gonna win. Uygur said during the announcement, it should not have been me. It should have been somebody else, but unfortunately it was not anyone else. There's only 4 months left. We must change course. He has at best a 10% chance of winning. I'm running as a proxy. I'm running to win, but I'm also running as a proxy for any other candidate. So just to clarify that a little bit from what I've followed, Cenk is running and he believes that Biden can't win, but he also is saying that he's running as a proxy because I think according to him, he wants to cajole and encourage other Democrats to jump into the race. We're speaking about Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Governor Gavin Newsom to jump into the race who could potentially have a better shot at winning. Regarding the fact that he wasn't born in the United States, Cenk, of course, he's got an answer for everything, does have an answer. He came to the US from Turkey at 8 years old, and Article 2, Section 1, Clause 5 of the US Constitution says only natural born citizens defined by the Harvard Law Review as citizens from birth with no need to go through naturalization proceedings can be president. He says, I'm going to the Supreme Court. Either I'm gonna win or I'm gonna lose. Now this case is on our side. The precedent is definitely on our side. So Cenk, of course, never one to back down from a challenge, is wants to take this to the Supreme Court. Obviously, we are, this is a network. This show is on the TYT network. We're not officially endorsing Cenk, but talking about his candidacy. And look, I understand why he is running. I think it is a bold move. And again, he has a history of doing things like that. Personally, I don't understand the angle here on how he would get Gretchen Whitmer or Gavin Newsom to enter into the race. And also, I don't agree that Joe Biden cannot win. Do I agree that Joe Biden will absolutely lose a lot of votes, especially over his handling of Israel-Palestine? Yes, especially younger people. Do I believe that the threat of Donald Trump and all of the many indictments he is under is far too great and will ultimately probably swing voters away from him? Yes. So look, I think this is cool for Cenk. I, of course, believe we need someone like him in the White House. I just don't see a path, but that is me. And Senator, your reactions.
Definitely a bold move, Francesca. He's shaking it up and he has made it very clear. He's very clear about the why he's running. One, as a proxy, and two, to shake up things on the naturalization side to determine who can run for president and who cannot. Very clear about why he's running. As far as Gretchen Whitmer is concerned or Gavin Newsom, I mean, neither one of those would be my choice, but I understand where he's coming from. So to see him in the Democratic primary, along with Marianne Williamson is in this race too. She's been holding strong from the beginning. It takes an immense amount of courage to go up against the machine, especially against an incumbent president of either party, but both of them are running in the Democratic primary that the DNC wants to pretend is non-existent. I think that Cenk has a very good point when he talks about how vulnerable this current president is. Poll after poll shows that he is very vulnerable. Now, polls are snapshots in time, I get it, but I'm not gonna say that and ignore the snapshot in time. The snapshot in time shows that this president is weak, especially on the economy. And Francesca, the point that you brought up, now this Israel-Hamas war is gonna further weaken his candidacy. I agree that he might lose. I mean, more than a 50-50 chance. I see a repeat of 2016. I don't necessarily agree. I understand your point. I don't think that Donald J. Trump is going to fall under the weight of this indictments. We have seen so far, at least in his fundraising, that it has only made him stronger. And then my last point, so glad that to have Dr. Cornel West in this race, speaking a moral type of truth, running as an independent. And also we now know that RFK too is running as an independent. I think it is asinine, it is ludicrous, it is foolish. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a country of over 300 million people only to have two political parties to draw from. The American people who've been polled so far do not want to see a rematch. I repeat, do not want to see a rematch. This ain't Sister Senator Turner saying this. They do not want to see a rematch between Trump or Biden. But hey, here we are. So if polling does not change, and it can change, but if things stay the way that they are right now, Cenk's point is very well taken. This president is vulnerable, and he may in fact lose to Donald J. Trump, who, even when you combine the competition on the Republican side, even when you combine all their poll numbers, they still behind this man.
Right. Yeah, no, and it's fine that we disagree on that. I guess my real question tactically is, why not just run a recruit Newsom or recruit Whitmer candidacy? I think what Cenk is trying to do is basically not lose to Donald Trump, right? So, the next strongest candidate is not necessarily himself. And I'm not sure that him running would actually pull them into the race. Why not just run a recruit Whitmer campaign? But again,
where's the fun in that, Francesca? He's shaking it.
Where's the fun? Exactly. Where's the fun? And like I said, where's the merch in that? I was saying we need Janko jeans, like Janko jeans. Those are the big jeans that are coming back. Cenk is not the only one running who's thinking about a presidential run. I mean, Cenk is running, but Democratic Representative Dean Phillips of Minnesota is quietly flirting with a presidential campaign. This is according to sources. He is planning to launch his campaign October 27th in Concord, New Hampshire. He's underway with two people directly familiar with that. One source cautioned that Phillips could still opt not to, which is so funny to me. Like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. He has taken several steps to run in recent weeks, including outreach to potential staffers. He's also told fellow House members that he plans to launch a challenge to Biden. Phillips has been vocal about his objections to the president, who he said would need to be 15 to 20 years younger to earn a forceful endorsement. So again, I don't know much about Dean Phillips. We know a lot about Cenk. We know he's to the left of Joe Biden. But it seems like Phillips is saying, we need a new class of Democrats. And honestly, I think we can all agree we need a new class of Democrats, and that Biden going into the 2020 election was the weakest candidate out of all of them. And we all saw that. He was the weakest. Yes. And so I hope that they are, mentoring and lifting up the next class of Democratic candidates. And I don't know if Kamala Harris is it. I'm sure she's feeling pretty burned at the moment.